We appear to be live on YouTube at this point.
Okay, we good to go? Okay, welcome everyone. We'll call the Personnel and Administration Committee meeting to order. First thing we need is a motion to approve the minutes of the prior committee meeting. Moved by Supervisor Conover, seconded by Supervisor Frazier. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, carried. Okay, I don't know, there's probably not any questions yet online, but privileged table of organization and salary schedule to create and fill the new position of custodian, grade 6, annual salary $31,824, as well as to delete the position of building maintenance worker 2, grade 12, annual salary $49,959, effective July 19, 2020. Would someone like to move this to the floor?
I'll move it, Mayor.
Supervisor Gary, seconded by Supervisor Conover. Any discussion? I see none. I'll call the question. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, item number 3, referral from the Health Services Committee, Office of the Aging. Request to amend the departmental table of organization and salary schedule to create and fill the new position of fiscal coordinator, grade 15, base annual salary $42,141, and delete the position of fiscal manager effective July 19, 2020.
Move it.
Moved by Supervisor Garrity, seconded by,
Second.
was that Supervisor Bramer? Any discussion?
It
Okay,
doesn't,
excuse me?
I was just gonna note, it doesn't say it on the agenda there, but I believe the salary for the position being deleted was something around 51,000. So it's a little bit of a savings there.
Yeah, I can't confirm that. It's not on the agenda, but I'm not sure if Ryan has that.
Listed in the attachment, the fiscal manager is grade 12, $55,051.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if we're ready for the question, call it. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Item number 4, request and items to be discussed by the clerk of the board. Request to rescind resolution number 529 of 2019, authorizing agreement with Cornell Cooperative Extension Association of Warren County for a youth camping program at Sky Farm Camp, as the youth camping program has been canceled for 2020. Would someone like to move that? Supervisor Conover, seconded by Supervisor McGowan. Any discussion? Okay, if not, I'll call the question. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay, item number 5, we have no items to be discussed by the county administrator. Item number 6, nothing from the county attorney. Item number 7, this is the Warren Washington County Industrial Development Agency appointment discussion that stemmed from our full board meeting this month. We have not moved to that, but we do need to move forward with filling this position. Is the chairman on the board, on the screen? There he is. Chairman Thomas, do you have a nomination that, because I believe that we had started in personnel, sent it to rules and decided that the chairman of the board would still nominate and then the board would vote yes or no?
At this time,
Not at this time?
what it said.
Okay, Supervisor Beatty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This concerns me. We kicked off a member, Travis Whitehead, who went to every single meeting, was a valuable, had valuable input on the Warren Washington County IDA. Supervisor Wild hasn't even shown up for 3 of the last 6 meetings, I believe. And Supervisor Leggett didn't even attend yesterday's meeting. And so here we have Warren County with 4 out of 5. We've gone 6 months without filling the position. And even some of the people that are on the committee aren't showing up. So I think we're getting short-ended. We're not getting our bang for our buck. And, I think we all look at putting Travis Whitehead, who does want to attend, who did attend, about putting him back on the committee. It only makes sense, but obviously that a lot of times doesn't fly around here. So that's what I'm throwing that out there for discussion now that we put probably the most valuable member on that committee back on the committee, seeing that no one else wants to be on the committee and the ones that are on aren't even showing up. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Okay, is there anybody else has anything to discuss? Add? Supervisor Sieber?
Thank you. To Doug's point, is there, Amanda, like a list, like a committee attendance list for IDA the way there is other committees? I mean, if that's go ahead.
The IDA may keep that. That's not a county committee, so it's nothing that my office oversees.
Chairman Simpson, is that a possibility that we could look at the attendance list? I mean, I think Doug makes a valid point from the position of, if people aren't going to meetings, or I know Dan did say, and I don't know if Dan's on the call, there's been some problems with the link with the Zoom link, but I mean, maybe it's an issue that we have people on that can't make the meetings or aren't interested in making, I don't know what the issues are, but we do have people in our community that are interested in being on the IDA, and I think it is fair to say there should be representation if we have the seats.
I can reach out to Chairman O'Brien and get that information. And I do know that there is a policy on attendance with the IDA. It was established. I don't have that policy in front of me at the moment. But Supervisor Bramer?
Sorry.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, Claudia. I jumped in. Can you send the attendance policy out as well when you send the attendance list?
I will get that from Chairman O'Brien. Actually, I believe that Warren County has a copy of our bylaws. So if I'm incorrect, Amanda, would you let me know?
No, I'm sure that we have, and we can get those sent out.
Thank you. Supervisor Bramer?
Thank you, Chairman. Assuming that Travis still wants back on this board, why don't we appoint him back to the board?
He can be, the committee would have to, he's got to go through the committee, the personnel committee, just like when we appointed Travis. But we had established, or at least this last time this subject came up, this is a meeting that came after the laws and rules that discussed that the process was that the chairman of the board would make a nomination, the committee would either vote it up or vote it down.
I thought we didn't finalize a specific rule about that. I mean, it's still a board appointment, and it sounds to me like the chairman does not have a person right at this time to appoint, and rather than leave it vacant for Warren County, I'd like to see us appoint Travis.
Makes sense.
I know Supervisor McGowan had a question.
Yes, I have to support this. I think Travis really did a great job, and I'd like to see him reappointed. We've waited long enough to find anybody. We can't find anybody, and I know he was detrimental to representing our county quite well. We've talked about his approach and how he does things, and we have talked about it. I've talked about it to his face and even in the board. So I would like to to get this filled, especially if we're not getting the full representation we need.
Chairman Thomas?
Well, if you all recall, I did have a nominee that never really got a vote. So, but since that time, that person has decided that they're no longer interested.
Sure.
the bottom line is we don't
Supervisor
have any-
Seaver, did you have a question? Yes, I saw your hand up.
I did. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To our chairman of the board's point, I mean, if he did have a recommendation, obviously that was voted down. So it went back to legislative. This is the first I've heard, Chairman Simpson, that we made a decision that it was to go through committee. I'm surprised to hear that. I know that Ron Conover sent it through committee previously, and that was his decision as the chairman of the board. I didn't realize legislative and rules made any finding that that was the process that we're going through now. Perhaps it's something that could be clarified. In the meantime, I would agree if we have someone that's interested, and if you're saying the process is to go through committee, then while I'm not a member of your personnel committee, perhaps that's a vote or some type of resolution that could be offered to the chairman for consideration to put up before the full board if that's the process. But I think we need some clarification.
I think Chairman Thomas, are you open to receiving nominations for, I believe that's the product. I think that's what we established. And I'm not on legislative rules, but I believe the legislative rules looked at this and they were going to continue with the same policy where everything goes through the chairman and the board is up or down.
Yeah, I'm open.
Okay.
I do have another individual that had expressed interest. However, I haven't contacted that person. So I wouldn't put his name out there at this point.
I had also, early on in the process last year, had submitted a name to you also.
Right.
Okay, is there anything further on this? I think that we'll have to keep this on the agenda. We'll have to look at our full, all of our time. Supervisor Seaver?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't understand why it has to be kept on the agenda. If the committee is willing to make a recommendation to the chairman and it goes to the full board, why not? And on top of it, if we have members that are assigned to this committee and they're not going for whatever reason, if that attendance list shows it, then why don't we put people in who are interested?
That's fine.
Get on committees that maybe we can't make or aren't interested in.
I'm fine with that. It can go right to the full board.
But what I'm saying is we might have more than one opening. If someone else has gotten on it and decided this isn't their cup of tea, maybe Frank would entertain swapping them out, even if you have other people in the community that are interested.
Right. No, that's a good point. So you're suggesting just everybody submit names to the chairman of the board and
No,
go right to the
well,
full board?
I'm not suggesting that. What I'm saying is maybe Frank could canvass those that are appointed right now to determine whether or not they want to stay on it. But I think what you're hearing from members of your committee today is that they're interested in an individual in our community who says he wants to serve.
Yeah.
If that's a recommendation they want to make to the chairman, they could, but again, not on your committee.
No, I think anybody on the board can make a recommendation to the chairman of the board.
Then I'd like
It's
to make,
it's not just the committee. Supervisor Beatty?
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Then I'll make that recommendation. I'd like to see Warren County have a full contingent be represented and not just 80% and not even 80% at times. So I'll make a recommendation with that we put Travis Whitehead's name back up for a vote by the full board to be put back on the Washington Warren County IDA. It makes sense to me, but again, so that I'll make
Supervisor McGowan?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. McGowan.
All those, Supervisor Conover? You're on mute.
We either have an advising consent process or we do not. And my understanding is that this is an advising consent. The chairman makes the appointment. He made a recommendation to the board for an appointment. There was no action taken on that. We have a vacancy and now some want to howl about the vacancy. Seems to me that was self-created by the board. So I think that hosting any individual name to the chairman is wholly inappropriate. If anybody on the committee wants to make a recommendation to the chairman for a possible appointment, then please do so. But I think this committee taking any action that even smacks of pulling that responsibility from the chairman is inappropriate, and I will vote against it.
No, it's not. I can't. Doug is not on the committee. Doug, I meant the full board. Any supervisor can go to Chairman Thomas and suggest a person. That is what I was saying, not that all of a sudden the personnel committee has turned into the full board at my wish. So I think there's a little confusion there, Mr. Beatty. Anybody have anything else on this?
There is some public comment on this part of it, if you want me to add that in now.
Sure, that's fine.
It actually is from a user with a screen name Travis12804, who I responded and tried to confirm that it is Travis Whitehead. I believe that to be Travis Whitehead. He said, "There's nothing that says the chairman makes the appointments, and as far as I know, nothing in the Legislation and Rules Committee changed that. So he just said, we go through this committee. I am noting the vacancy and offering my services. Show me somewhere where there is an advise and consent language in the chairman's powers. I have asked to see such language and it was not there." That is what is posted so far.
Thank you, Mr. Lehman. Okay, anything else from the committee on this topic?
Just,
Supervisor Conover.
yeah, as long as I've been on the board, it's been a recommendation for appointment from the chairman. It's true that when I was chairman, I did take my recommendation to the committee and run it through the committee. That I did do, but it was still my appointment. In fact, it was Travis Whitehead's name that I moved to committee. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to item 5 here, pending items, personnel. We have none. Higher education, we have no pending item. Excuse me, Mr. McGowan.
Yes, so can I make that recommendation to Frank,
Sure can.
our chairman, to,
I don't think it needs to be a resolution.
to appoint Travis Whitehead? Is
I'm
that,
sure,
is that what
yeah.
you were saying, Ron? Is that-
You just did. That's all you need to do is exactly what you just did.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, as I was saying, higher education, there are no pending items. Positions,
Matt, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, will the full board then get a chance to vote on the recommendation from Mr. McGowan to nominate Travis Whitehead?
the current process is Chairman Thomas will entertain any of the people that are brought to him from any of the supervisors on the board. And Chairman Thomas, I believe the process is that he would make the recommendation, the board would vote up or down on it.
Okay, all right.
Am I incorrect in that? That's my understanding of how the process was decided.
And so if the chairman decides not to bring Mr. Whitehead's name to a vote, we're just going to leave the county shorthanded continually. It's been 6 months now. And okay, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I hope the chairman sees the value in actually having a full contingent representing Warren County and not just 80%. And I believe he'll see that as a useful thing and not as a detriment. So, okay, thank you.
Chairman.
Supervisor Bramer.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to be clear that legislative and rules did not make any sort of official proclamation about what the process was. As far as I can tell, it's an appointment by the full board, and our tradition has been to have the chairman bring forward a recommendation either through the committee or not. But I think that, you know, if someone put together a written resolution before the full board, it could be voted up or down. I would encourage the chairman to put forward someone at the next meeting, and I think Travis would do a fine job, and he wants to do it. Put him back on.
Okay, is there anything else on this topic? Okay, we're at positions authorized for filling by standing committees since last meeting. Countryside, cook number 5, grade 4, base annual salary $29,333 due to resignation. WIC, infant feeding advocate, part-time, grade 3, hourly rate $13.47 due to resignation. Original authorization expired and was reapproved by committee. Medical records coder, part-time, grade 10, hourly rate $18.09 due to creation in 2020. Budget, original authorization expired and was reapproved by committee. Public health nurse number 35, grade 21, base annual salary of $50,816 due to retirement. Original authorization expired and was reapproved by committee. Public health program manager, grade 21, base annual salary $50,816 due to resignation. Office of the Aging, meal site manager number 5, grade 2, base annual salary $27,438 due to resignation. Communications officer number 6, annual salary $41,740 due to resignation. Case in social services, we had caseworker number 34, grade 16, base annual salary $43,390 due to resignation. I don't know if there's any questions on those. Supervisor McGowan.
Yes, there's a lot of due to resignation there. I mean, are we doing something wrong, or some great offers came in for all these people?
I don't have the particulars on these. I'm not sure if our
I
administrator.
appreciate that. I don't know. It's just kind of amazing how many resignations we had. Was just wondering if anybody knew why.
It's not atypical. We always have a fairly steady stream of resignations. I think what you're seeing is public health probably waiting until now to ask to fill some of them.
Thanks, Ryan.
Okay, is there anything else to come before the committee?
I have one thing.
Supervisor Garrity.
Yeah, we received an email yesterday from Peggy Stevens or Margaret Stevens, and she was very complimentary of the employees who work at Countryside Adult Home. And Ryan, you're on, right, Ryan?
Yep.
Yeah, you saw that, and I thought sometime we should forward it out when we can.
Okay. Supervisor Conover, did you have your hand up there?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, is there anything else, Mr. Lehman, on the YouTube? Any questions?
No, Chairman Simpson, there is nothing else posted on YouTube.
Okay, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Supervisor McGowan, seconded by Supervisor Garrity. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Danny?
Mrs. Fraser?
Yes. Do we have to wait or are we all set?
Hope you're all set. Your committee is here. You can go whenever you'd like.
Okay, thank you. All right, good morning all. I'd like to call to order the July Finance Committee meeting. And with that, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes of last month's meeting. So someone would like to make the motion?
I'll move it.